Welcome everyone. Today we are doing another alert triage. This time we're going to go through malware, how to respond to it, and the steps I take. Specifically, we are going to use the security tool known as Palo Alto Cortex XDR. And I'm just going to take you step by step through the alert triage. So let's get into it. All right, so when we pivot into the console, we would just use the incident ID and then head over to the incident to the left there and put it in. And we are brought to this page that you see now. You can also see on the left the query builder, query center, action center, etc., which we will be talking about here in a little bit as well. So whenever you click on that alert, it will open up this panel to the right of the screen. And this would have information on the process, such as the SHA-256, the SHA-1, and other things as well. But something important here is you see this WF in the middle of the screen there. That stands for Wildfire. Palo Alto Cortex XDR has this feature called Wildfire, and you can use that to help you understand a file or process more. It is for malware analysis, both static and dynamic. Okay, so you see that little file icon with the arrow to the right of it? If you click that, you'd be brought to the following page. And this is the Wildfire analysis report. And as you see, there is a dynamic and a static option, and whichever one you click will provide you information on that file. So the summary here, it says it contains an invalid checksum. Okay, so the PE file checksum is required for drivers, boot time, DLLs, and other DLLs loaded into secure system processes. Malware often ignores this value or sets it to 0. Okay, so it's testing this file in a sandbox and then retrieving that information, its behavior, the way it interacts with the sandbox, and it's providing that information to us so that it can aid us in this investigation. So let's go ahead and head back over to that query builder section that I was talking about. So here we have the query builder. We can use this for a few important things. So as you see, there is an option for process, file, network, image load, etc. If we need more information on something, we can head to this query builder and find that information. So for our specific case, if we wanted to find more information on a file, I would just click on File. It would bring us to a page where I can put in the file name and the path and whatever else I have about the file. Usually, all I have to do is put in the file name. When I do that, it searches for that file name and it gives us all the information associated. And what that can help us with is if it has any connections or associations with any other events or files, right? If all we have is a file name but no SHA-256 value, I can go here, put the file name in, and see if it has any associations to potentially benign activity, like Microsoft, for instance, right? We get a lot of false positives involving Microsoft. So this is an invaluable resource here to use and search with. Next, we have the Action Center, okay? And again, it was just on that left panel. You click it and you can see all the actions. You can perform file quarantines, addition to block list, allow list, endpoint isolation, etc. You see on the top right the new action with the plus symbol there. If you click that, you can even do a few other things. So let's take a look. So this would be the screen you get to when you click on that plus new action. Okay, so you can do file retrieval, a malware scan on the endpoint, isolations, and you can also add to the block list or the allow list through this page. And this is usually where I head and do the malware scan, right? So far we have observed the file, we have observed it in a sandbox environment, and thanks to Wildfire, it has provided us with some information on the static and dynamic malware analysis of the file. Then we're performing a malware scan on the host because it's good to make sure that the host is safe, right? So we'll go ahead and preemptively perform that malware scan. And then, let me have a look here. Then when we decide to actually pivot into the specifics of the alert, we would get to this page here. And the way to get to this page is actually from this page, okay? All you would do is just right click on the alert, and then it would have an option to access the timeline. So this is the timeline of the alert. This is actually on the Palo Alto official site. So all of this information is allowed to be shared. So you can see Excel spawned these two processes, which spawned this process, so on and so forth. If you click on any of these icons, you can see in the middle pane, there's a SHA-256 value, the Wildfire score, right? So it says it's benign, it says it's signed by Microsoft. So there's a few good indications there that is the real excel.exe. You see the associated user, and then just below that, you can see the all actions, alerts, processes, etc. So this is where you can kind of get into the nitty gritty. You can see if there were any network connections with the specified file, any commands it has ran. There's just any information it would be found at that bottom panel there. So let's see. We have now been able to see and obtain some information on the file. We see that we can perform a malware scan. We saw the quarantine page here. Let's see. Right here on the Action Center, we could do a file quarantine on that file then, as well as adding it to the block list. So there you have it. And all of this would be performed while gathering OSINT, or open source intelligence, on the file, right? We don't just want to quarantine and add to a block list just any file. We want to make sure we do have a means to do this, right? So we would check the file name online, see if we could provide any useful information to the client, like, oh, this file could be related to XYZ. But if, one, we are certain that the file is malicious through OSINT, such as checking the SHA-256 value on VirusTotal or Alien Vault, what have you, or if through our search of the file name itself we see that there are associations to malicious activity, then it is good to preemptively go ahead, initiate a quarantine, add it to the block list. And as you saw, we had the option to isolate the host. We would not do that unless it was something like a worm or ransomware. And we performed the antivirus scan and successfully remediated the issue. And again, I go through these a little bit quickly so people that have a general understanding of this can go through it. But if you would like to go back through this video again, slow it down to really understand where everything is and the concepts I explained, feel free to do so. So this has been Alert Triage, specifically for malware in Palo Alto Cortex XDR. Subscribe for more cybersecurity, and thank you for watching.